We also have a program called manual overrides. Manual overrides allow us to execute events that happen right now. Things like if somebody was to call up from a door, they forgot their card, they need us to kind of buzz them in, we can send a command to momentarily unlock a door. We can send commands to unlock doors forever. We can reset those commands, and we can also do the lockdowns. This is one way we have of locking down the doors through the software. If we execute this type of lockdown, a manual override lockdown, what we're saying in the system is nobody will be able to access this door unless their specific record is noted in our software as having this pass-through capability. So cardholders with pass-through would still be able to access a door even if it's been locked down. When we're done with our lockdown, we could then reset the doors through the software. We can do it through the hardware also. I'm going to show you that in a little bit. What you're going to see in this program would be a list of every door in your system in this upper window. Then in the bottom window, you'll see the available events for those doors. Now, if we click on a door, let's say our training room door, I can execute my events right down here. Let me maximize my screen so you can see my execute for the task here. I'm also going to open up another program. We're going to open up the transaction monitor. The transaction monitor will allow us to see live transactions as they're happening in the system. So if I swipe a card here, so I'm just swiping a card at some of the doors, you can see our valid accesses or our access denied here. In the top window, that's where we see these cardholder transactions. In the bottom window, that's where we see these device and operator transactions, things like doors that might be forced open or held open, or manual overrides. That's what we're going to look at right now. In the manual override software, if I click on a reader, so let's say at the training room 1 door, I decide I want to execute the door momentarily, unlock the door. I'm going to execute our task. The door just unlocked. In the transaction monitor, this event is recorded. We're going to see which event was executed, what specific event was executed here, the unlock reader momentarily. We'll see the operator who executed this event. So right now I'm logged into our software as the system administrator, but here you would see the name of the actual user in SMS that executed the event. We also can see what device was used, so the name of the computer that was used to execute the override. So the transaction monitor will show us these live views as they're happening, and manual overrides are recorded in the system. We can see that here. I can send commands to unlock the doors indefinitely. So now in the transaction monitor, this door is now open forever. We've toggled the door unlocked. If I go back into my manual overrides, we can reset this door. This door is now out of its toggle. It exited. It's toggle open. The door is now back to its card access. Then we also have the ability through manual overrides to lock down the doors. So if I execute the lockdown on this door, in the transaction monitor, we're going to see that this reader just entered lockdown mode. If I swipe a card at this door now, we're going to see that we have an invalid access during lockdown. Now, the card holder that I'm using right now is this card holder named John Smith. I'm going to right-click on the transaction. We can go right to this card holder's information within our SMS software. And if we look over here, we have the ability here to enable lockdown pass-through. Now, this button actually has 2 features. It's for controlled NA passback and lockdown. Controlled NA passback is the feature when you have entry and exit doors, and I want to stop somebody from passing this card back to somebody else if they already swiped and came in. So if we have let's say a parking gate, I swipe my door at an entry gate. The gate goes up, I drive in, someone's driving up behind me, they also want to enter the parking structure. I give them my card. When they swipe at the entry gate, they're going to get an access denied with an anti-passback violation. You can't go in again, you're already in. You wouldn't be able to use the card again at that entry gate until you swipe at the exit gate. But we also control lockdown. So I'm going to uncheck this lockdown, which now enables lockdown pass-through. I'm going to save this record back into our transaction monitor. Now if I swipe a card at our lockdown door, now we've got our valid access during lockdown. and I actually swiped at my server room door there also, but this was the one we were interested in looking at. So now we've got our valid access during lockdown. This was how we can lock down these doors through the software. We also have the ability to lock down doors with a push button. So I've got a button here that I can push. When I execute this button, I just hit my interior push button, and our reader entered lockdown mode. So this door is now locked down. So if I swipe here, now this door is now in lockdown. We have our valid access during lockdown. If I swipe a different card, let's see, there's our invalid access during lockdown. So this lockdown was executed through a push button, as you can see here. We have the ability to take this door out of its lockdown again by pushing the button again. So if I hit this, so now my reader just exited lockdown mode. We can see that my push button was activated. So now this door is back to its standard state. So if I swipe a card again, right now we've got our valid access. Let's see. These overrides can also be executed in a set. We have a tab here in manual overrides called override set view. Now these override sets are customizable. You create them, you can call them whatever you want. I created a set that I call lockdown all doors. This could also be lockdown elementary school front doors, lockdown perimeter doors, lockdown grade school doors. You're going to program these lockdowns, name them what you want, add whatever lockdown commands you want to this set. Then if we execute the set, we very quickly execute all the events in that set. So what I have here is one set that I can use to execute the lockdown for all my doors. We can also have a reset here. So I have a reset for all my doors, so I can execute that set. Now this is executing the overrides through the software. We can also associate a set to a push button, a key switch. We could have a push button in an office where when we push that button, we execute a set of overrides that's going to lock down our doors. Part of that set could also turn on sounders, turn on alarms, send notifications to a security computer letting them know that a lockdown was just initiated. So a set is a quick way for us to initiate groups of lockdowns, or I should just say groups of tasks. The group could be lock down our exterior doors, maybe unlock some interior doors, turn on some sounders, turn on some lights. Any task you want can be part of the set. There's also control over who can execute these. Now we could have a button that could say, anybody can push the button to lock down the doors. But we could say when a security, maybe a lower level security person is logged into the system, maybe they can see the lockdown in our software, but the reset would be invisible for them. This would require an administrator to log into the system to reset our doors. So what you're going to see here again in manual overrides, under reader view, you'll see a list of every door in your system with the ability to execute these override tasks, and you also have the ability to execute these tasks in a set.